بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Surah An-Nur is rich with lessons of a moral nature, as well as the surah is replete with ahkam and also lessons to do with morals and akhlaq, etiquettes. So for example, what to do when a controversy arises regarding a person or something of a scandalous nature erupts in the community. How are the masses supposed to respond to this? Now, normally what happens is that when there is a controversy that's created around any individual, people will become divided into three groups. There are those who are unconditionally supportive of that person. Close people, well-wishers, family members, could be parents, could be children. These people offer unconditional support to the person whose name has been connected with something controversial, something negative, something problematic. Then there is another group of people that are unconditionally opposed to that person. And no matter what happens, they will remain as some type of opposition, some form of opponent, openly or secretively. They will oppose that person, and this becomes fuel for those people. It becomes something for them to munch on, something for them to enjoy, and they will exploit it to the greatest extent that they are able to. Then there is a large group of people in between these, those who are neutral. They generally like to maintain a sense of objectivity in matters like this, but they can be swayed. Two things happen with these people. The first is confusion. They become uncertain. They might become very disturbed. They might not know what to say until one of those two groups, if they access them, then they will attempt to sway them in one direction or the other. We see this happening every time something, especially if it's an important figure, a public figure, could be a politician, could be some form of celebrity, or somebody who's prominent. This is what normally happens. And the Quran gives guidance to the masses as well as to both groups, both extremes, those that are extremely supportive and those that are extremely opposed to that person. Mind you, opposition could be for good reason as well. Just because someone is opposed to someone doesn't mean that they're bad. But the fact is that Islam promotes a sense of brotherhood and togetherness. And Islam cherishes everyone's honor, dignity, self-respect. And Islam has not given anyone license to attack anyone's reputation. It's simply not allowed. The Prophet ﷺ announced openly in Hajjatul Wada', ألا إن دماءكم وأموالكم وأعراضكم حرام عليكم كحرمة يومكم هذا في بلدكم هذا في شهركم هذا. Your blood, meaning your lives, your properties, and your reputations are inviolable. They cannot be violated. Just like no one has the right to damage you physically. No one has that right. No one has the right to damage your property. Similarly, no one has the right to damage your reputation. They are all equally haram. Just like the Prophet ﷺ gave examples that just like this day is sacred, this place where I am saying this is sacred, this month is sacred, Just like that, these things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a sense of sanctity. They are hands off. No one is allowed to tamper with them. So, using the example of Aisha radiallahu anha in Surah An-Nur, when these scandalous rumors were formed and very strategically spread throughout society until it was too late to find out where it started from and how to stop it. In fact, Aisha radiallahu anha herself was the last person to find out. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, look, these people who have brought these claims, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ عُصْبَةٌ مِّنْكُمْ, they are a group from amongst you. This is not something external. This is something from the inside. And here the Quran is hinting towards the root cause of many of our problems, and that is that they are created by people on the inside. It is easier to defend oneself against an enemy who is obviously an enemy, because a person is prepared for attacks from such an entity. But when someone is amongst those that one considers to be their own people, it becomes very difficult to defend oneself against them. A person is put in a position where they're not able to retaliate, they're not able to express themselves, and that news is spread amongst those that are close. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Usbatun minkum." This is a group from amongst yourselves. Then He says, "La tahsabuhu sharran lakum bal huwa khairun lakum." Overall, and in terms of outcomes, this is not going to prove to be a bad thing. This is going to end up being a good thing. Bal huwa khairun lakum. Why is that? Because through this, the Muslims were taught some very important lessons of how dangerous it is to tamper with someone's reputation. And they will learn the outcomes of this. Those that got involved in it will learn the outcomes of it. And they will become a lesson for others, and others will abstain from this. And al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu anha will be exonerated until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Until that day, no one will be able to slander her, and no one will be able to say anything against her. But at the same time, لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مِّنْهُمْ مَكْتَسَبَ مِنَ الْإِثْمِ, everyone will get a share of the sin for what role they played in this. Whatever role anyone played, they will get their share. وَالَّذِي تَوَلَّى كِبْرَهُ مِنْهُمْ لَهُ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ, and the one who played the major role will get an immense punishment. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that here are some things that you should have done. The first thing is, لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا وقالوا هذا إفك مبين. The first thing that should have happened is the good expectation that one believer has about another should have come into effect. Why wasn't it? And this is in the tone of admonishment, reprimand. Why wasn't it that when you heard it, you carried good expectations about each other, about others, just for the fact that they're a Muslim? And why wasn't your first reaction that this news is false? This should have been your first reaction. This is the default reaction Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us. When someone raises something about someone, the default for the Muslim community should be that, no, this news is false, we don't accept this. We do not accept this news. Just because it's a piece of news, it doesn't mean that we take it at face value. It means nothing to us. Why? Because Muslims don't do that kind of thing. We don't think it's true. And the other thing you should have said is, لَوْلَا جَاءُوا عَلَيْهِ بِأَرْبَعَةِ شُهَدَاء. Where are your 4 witnesses? فَإِن لَمْ يَأْتُوا بِالشُّهَدَاءِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ عِندَ اللَّهِ هُمُ الْكَاذِبُونَ. And you should have said very openly that if there are no witnesses, if you do not have those 4 witnesses, then in the sight of Allah you are the liars. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when you heard this, why didn't you respond in this way? وَلَوْلَا إِذْ سَمِعْتُمُوهُ قُلْتُمْ مَا يَكُونُ لَنَا أَن نَتَكَلَّمَ بِهَذَا. We cannot speak about these kinds of things. We cannot delve into these kinds of affairs. This is not, we do not have the right to do so. مَا يَكُونُ لَنَا أَن نَتَكَلَّمَ بِهَذَا. It is not for us, it is not allowed for us to speak about such matters. Subhanaka hada buhtanun azim. This is a huge slander. This should be the approach of the Muslims. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that those people who become the vehicles for spreading these things. And in today's world, it's just one tap and the message is forwarded. It's liked, it's shared, it's forwarded, and it spreads. Who was the vehicle for transporting that rumor? It was us. And sometimes one is inclined to say that, you are what you click and you are what you tap. It's a true representation of who and what you are. If we are indiscriminate in sharing things, just because a piece of news sounds really juicy, but Muslims are not those people who work for the rumor mill to keep it churning and turning. This is not our job. A Muslim is someone that when rumors come around, they stop, they die out, because there is no one to share them. Even someone who wants to propagate that idea, wants to spread that idea, popularize that idea, they fail when it comes to the Muslims because they're just not talking. Yet we see all the time that some controversy is raised about someone, or someone says something, someone says a nasty comment, and all of a sudden it becomes news and it's spread and shared. And these are not the akhlaq of Islam. Islam did not teach us this. Yes, this is what Western media taught the world, that this is how you do things. Create controversies out of anything and everything, out of anyone and everyone. And it's all about the headline. It's all about the storyline. It's not about the story. It's about what the story could be made to sound like for the sake of attracting viewers and readers. And today we see the Muslims have fallen into that same trap. For the sake of attracting viewers and readers, for the sake of gaining and garnering followers and popularity on social media, people are posting anything and everything. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُحِبُّونَ أَن تَشِيعَ الْفَاحِشَةُ فِي الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Those who like bad news, those who like news of indecency, fahisha, or those who like bad deeds to spread. How do they like bad deeds to spread? Because they talk about them. When you talk about it, it spreads. Those who want news of this to spread amongst those who believe, then for them is going to be a painful punishment in dunya and akhirah. It's very saddening to see that because of this attitude of ours, of commenting, sharing, first of all, we feel entitled to comment about everything. We don't have a check in place, a stop in place that says, Subhanaka ma yakunu lana an natakallama bihada. We don't pause to ask, am I even allowed to speak about something like this? So what happens? It could be a great personality, someone who's done great things for Islam, someone who has done immense services for the Muslims. What happens? Somebody will create a controversy and everyone will start talking about it. It's happened with great scholars. It's happened with great citizens of the world. Those who made Muslims proud over and over again for their work and for their services. And It's so sad that with a few strokes of a pen or a few strokes of a keyboard, people feel that they can attack their reputation, their dignity, their character, everything that they stand for, and create controversy around that person so that all of that person's life efforts are gone to waste. This is not Islam. Islam doesn't stand for it. So Islam teaches us respect and boundaries. I'll give you another example from the same surah. The Quran talks about not entering into someone's house until حَتَّى تَسْتَأْنِسُوا وَتُسَلِّمُوا عَلَى أَهْلِهَا, until you make the people familiar with who you are. You make them comfortable with your presence and you say salam. So in the other verse, حَتَّى تَسْتَأْذِنُوا, until you seek permission. What is this? This seeking permission is to create or to maintain a boundary around that person's privacy. So much so that the Quran instructs us to teach even our children to take permission before entering into our houses or into our rooms at times when we may not be aware of their presence, when we may not be prepared to meet them or prepared to let them see us. So yes, there is something called privacy, and there are boundaries. And one of the reasons for that is, it's mentioned in the verses right after that, where the Quran tells us to guard our gaze. In fact, if we pick up the chapters of istidhan, seeking permission before entering into someone's house, in Sahih al-Bukhari, we will find that it's mentioned very clearly, إِنَّمَا الْإِسْتِذَانُ مِنَ الْبَصَرِ. The reason why we have been commanded to take permission is so that we do not see anything that the person inside does not want us to see. It's their business. It's their privacy, and it's their family. And someone who goes and peeks through someone's window or through a crack in their door, it's like a thief who has entered into that house without permission. They're like an intruder. Because they have intruded and invaded that person's privacy with their eyes. And it's all about what you see. So Islam teaches us to even control what it is that we're able to see by respecting people's privacy. This, of course, does not mean that if someone is committing wrong acts, we should promote them. We should support them. This is not the purpose. The purpose is to create a default position of Muslims that a person is innocent unless and until there is substantial evidence. And if there is evidence that this person has done something wrong, then the first thing is it's between them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are not here to judge them neither in dunya or in akhirah. Yes, if someone does something against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in open, they do it openly, and it's a major act of disobedience, then yes, some things will come into effect. But these are things for the ulama to address. These are not things for the awam to go and create a witch hunt against that person. And that has never helped anyone. It has destroyed many people. It's destroyed careers and reputations. It's destroyed morale. It's destroyed families. It's ruined a lot. It has never done anything. And we come out like some sort of policeman that I'm going to share this about this person so that the whole world knows what kind of person they are. What's that going to do? It's not going to do anything. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us. This was not the path that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam left us on, and this is not the path that was followed by Sahaba radiallahu anhu ajma'in. So in the early days of Islam, there were people who made mistakes, and there were some people who were accused of making mistakes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us clear teachings regarding how to deal with both. These are a few reflections from Surah An-Nur. And in conclusion, I just remembered a hadith where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that a person who taunts or puts another person to shame from something, regarding something that the person may have done, but in some narrations it's mentioned that they've done tawbah from it, or it was done in the past, the person is no longer doing it, but someone shames them for it, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not let this person die until He makes them do the same act that they're shaming the other person for. May Allah save us. And sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows this to a person through their own children or close family members, and it hurts much more. And the cause is because they taunted someone, they ridiculed someone, they insulted someone behind their back, they shamed them maybe to their face, they mistreated someone in such a way, and it comes back. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, protect our families, protect our families' honor and respect, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us to establish that mu'ashara, that society that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam so carefully constructed and left behind. May Allah azza wa jal and give us the tawfiq to revive those types of communities and those types of environments. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. جزا الله عنا نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم معه أهله. يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا ذا الجلال والإكرام يا أول الأولين يا آخر الآخرين يا ذا القوة المتين يا راحم المساكين يا كاشف الكرب يا إله العالمين. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم اغفر لنا ما قدمنا وما أخرنا وما أسررنا وما أعلنا وما أنت أعلم به منا. أنت المقدم وأنت المؤخر لا إله إلا أنت. اللهم اغفر لنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. اللهم ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم اغفر لنا مغفرة من عندك. اللهم اغفر لنا مغفرة من عندك وارحمنا إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. اللهم ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به. واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية في ديننا ودنيانا وأهلنا ومالنا. اللهم استر عوراتنا وآمن روعاتنا. اللهم احفظنا من بين أيدينا ومن خلفنا وعن أيماننا وعن شمائلنا ونعوذ بعظمتك أن نغتال من تحتنا. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الهم والحزن ونعوذ بك من العجز والكسل ونعوذ بك من الجبن والبخل ونعوذ بك من غلبة الدين وقهر الرجال ونعوذ بك من فتنة المسيح الدجال ونعوذ بك من المأثم والمغرم ونعوذ بك من الحور بعد الكور ونعوذ بك من الفتن ما ظهر منها وما بطن. اللهم اكفنا بحلالك عن حرامك وأغننا بفضلك عمن سواك. اللهم زينا بزينة الإيمان واجعلنا هداة مهتدين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من علم لا ينفع ومن قلب لا يخشع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن دعاء لا يسمع. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك من عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذك من عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. آمين.